Good evening, everybody. I am really looking forward to the game I'm about to stream. I'll give just a little bit of an introduction for it so people can have a chance to come in. Um, I really like Tom Francis's games. He's Pentadact on. Did I get that right? I'm always bad at the pronunciation. Let me just double check that at Pentadact. Um, a huge fan of his games. I actually will go so far as to say I think um, Gunpoint may be some of my favorite writing in a game. I think a lot of you know already that I place a high value on humor. Um, I also quite liked Heat Signature, actually. And so one of the things I really like about the way Tom Francis does games, I think he's done a blog. I know he's done some videos just sort of updating where he is. One thing that I really notice, and I would like to, I wish that there were more broadcasters who do this, and perhaps I just need to be looking. Sorry, just say broadcasters, more developers that do this. I should maybe just be looking a little bit harder rather than assuming that this doesn't exist. Um, but one of the things I really like is how open he is with not just the development of the games that he's working on, but also a number of the sort of surrounding features that are, I don't know if I can call them necessary, but seem to be important for game development. So, for instance, he talks a bit about the surveys that he does. Now, I've actually had the good fortune of being involved in sort of a playtest round for Heat Signature and a playtest round for Tactical Breach Wizards. I may have even streamed it. I don't remember. As long as it was permitted, I'm pretty sure I would have done it. But he does actually talk a bit about how that is used to improve the game and the slow progression that you see, in terms of those numbers. But like it's slow but measurable. I think he's most recently, and this is really a topic close to my heart. I think he recently wrote something about the importance of keeping a team small so that you can have the time required to to produce the kinds of things that you want. And when I say you, I suspect I really mean him. I have a slightly different view on this, where I do focus quite a bit on productivity, and to a certain extent, I see these as aligned mathematically, but probably different. I'm going to make a guess that if he were to talk to me about it, and frankly, there are more important and interesting people for him to have this conversation with, we would probably not be fully aligned. But I like to think that, in terms of my understanding, there is more in common than not. But I think for me, in an ideal world, I guess this is the thing. I tend to think about these in very abstract terms, and I think, this gentleman makes a living making games, and so the practical is much more immediate and important. But I think one of the things that I've thought about quite a bit is productivity, and not in the really negative sense that like usually people will be talking about AI and like we're going to fire a bunch of people to be more productive. I mean, in one sense, you can see why it would be mistaken for that. Essentially, you want to do more with the same resources, or perhaps equivalently, the same with less. But I think the problem, especially for gaming, is that if you take the standard as the same for less, you are falling behind your peers, right? If you consider the quality of game that we are playing in 2026, although of course I'm playing a game from 2024, so maybe I should just keep that, and you compare that to something from, the 2000s, maybe at the same price point. I mean, obviously, something that would be a major release from a top tier developer is not a fair comparison. But when you're just comparing the two, when you are comparing the two like to like, at least in terms of the number of hours of labor put into it, or you want to be a little careful with using certain measures of like the inputs, so not just labor, but like maybe some dollar value, and then of course you need to do some corrections there. But however, whatever form this winds up taking, I would argue that if nothing else, just from the progress of understanding game design, how games work, what people are responding to, there is a very significant improvement. And of course, this is on top of the fact that, Tactical Breach Wizards is made in Unity, Gunpoint is made in Game Maker, I believe. There's multiple competing engines now to create things, and that wouldn't necessarily have been true in history, let alone, ignoring the progress that we've collectively made as a species or whatever in terms of making games. So all that to say is, I really like the way that he thinks about keeping the costs low to allow for that iteration. And I can see how that may not be feasible for, an Electronic Arts or a Ubisoft. And, because they're a pretty well-oiled machine. They have a certain release schedule that they want to keep. They've got a lot of people on staff. But in that case, they have improved. Like what I really think here is that these are sort of two sides of the same coin, in the sense that this really good indie advice. First of all, indies are not exactly super well capitalized, so it's probably good to make the most of those resources. And what I think a lot of that does is it gives you enough space to sort of search for the the ideal, or at least as close as you can get to it, right? So that's those surveys, that iteration, your ability to improve things. Also just build up word of mouth. I was really looking forward to Tactical Breach Wizards, I think pretty much when I first heard of it. And so in that case here, right, the it's not exactly a trade-off, but like where the productivity comes from, of course, is that the quality of the end product is very high. And there is a real cost in terms of, keeping someone on staff, and, you need to eat yourself and so on and so forth. But ultimately, it seems that this is a model that has worked really well for, I believe the company is called Suspicious Developments. I think that is, to me, in the end, a lot of the productivity stuff is about efficient allocations of resources. And one of the things that's funny, right, when you think about iteration, when you think about having a lot of time to work through things and find those ideal places, there's this weird accounting we do in the back of our head to assume that, that golden path was always, lying in front of us. And that, what you really need to do to become productive is to prune all of those wasteful, avenues that you go down, and just do the ideal, right? But that's kind of like people who have day trading TikToks saying is like, if you just get a 10% return every day, you'd be a multimillionaire. I'm like, yeah, I would love 10% returns every day. That is exceptionally difficult unless you like open a, quite a successful business. Like, I don't know, you're doing some kind of SaaS offering that doesn't require any marketing or whatever. Like, that's really, really hard to do. Like, unless you've got Microsoft sitting in your garage, like you probably are not going to get that kind of return. So what I really like about that kind of advice is, number one, it's somebody with the credibility of like the track record, right? All of the games, and I haven't mentioned all of them, by the way, but like the ones that really stick out to me, they're all excellent. I highly recommend all of them. But what I really do like is that the advice is not, you know, hey, I've done some successful games. Now I'm going to tell you some things that, you deep down want to believe are true, regardless of whether or not they are. Because I mean, there's always going to be an audience for people to hear the things that they want to hear. But I like that some of the advice has been somewhat counterintuitive and maybe helps get people out of this mental rut of unhelpful thinking. And the last thing I just need to say is that I know there are a few aspiring game developers that watch the channel, and he does have a Unity tutorial, quite a long one. There was a bit of a hiatus in between, but I have to appreciate someone who, in addition to that advice, in addition to sort of the more open development, I really respect someone who takes the time. I don't really know if there is a direct like marketing reward for doing something like that for an audience. I mean, obviously I like it, and I think very well of this developer. But I've said this some time ago, but like I really do feel that there's probably going to be some games that I really like. Maybe they've already been made. That happen because someone watched that tutorial. And maybe it's not that they like implement the game that's already, because this is the thing, right? Like I don't think the purpose of a tutorial like that is to teach you to make games, the way the person doing the tutorial is. I think it's intended to give people some good foundations to sort of say, hey, this Unity thing, it's a little tough when you get started. So here you go. Here are some ideas that I hope you'll find useful. And then, slowly someone says, okay, actually, you know what? I'm starting to get this now. And then they go off. And, that tutorial is not the only way. So we now have like Lethal Company, right? Somebody who cut their teeth on Roblox and, eventually figured that they knew enough. They sort of worked out how to give people an experience that they want, and decided that they would do something standalone with Unity. So there's a few different paths through it, but there's something really wonderful in my view about someone with a real clear talent taking the time to, give potential competitors really a leg up, and basically. I don't know, there's something I really like teaching, and so I think I have to a degree a real admiration for particularly good teachers, and there's just something really nice. I think it's because in the end, like, knowledge is non-rival. Me possessing knowledge does not deny you that knowledge. In fact, it's one of those things that we can give more of, and generally the world becomes a better place. Yeah, I don't know. It's a nice little way of letting people file into the stream, but I wanted to talk about. I mean, I think the game's going to speak for itself in a bit. This had an amazing trailer for the Game Award. I mean, very good trailers overall, but like the Game Awards trailer in particular was really something else. But it's just one of those things that, especially because I know where a few of the people in the stream are coming from, I did want to take a minute just to encourage people to check out the some of the related material from this developer. All right, Tactical Breach Wizards. Oh yeah, and I think I did say this before, but I bought this on launch day. I'm just playing it now. That's fine. It's like a fine wine. How's that? Special edition, huh? Choose difficulty. You can change and customize this from the in-game menu at any time. Easier, default, or hard. I'm going to regret this, but... The Jodasa Strait a few years ago. WizTac, this is Mage Actual. We're in position. Suppression Hex is online. Charm and Control Charms up. Breach Glyphs are hot. Alright, Zan. What's Foresight telling you? I'm seeing 3 Sprig Acolytes, Softwood Silence Mac 10s. Want me to leave you one? If you're losing your touch, sure. I'll pick up the slack. Alright, let's do this. Left you an easy one, Zan. Wow, patronizing. Select your 3-bolt burst ability, then issue an order on... I'm probably being drowned out by the very good soundtrack, but... Alright, select your 3-bolt burst ability, then issue an order on the enemy to shoot them. I wonder if this will knock them out of the window. Make your way to the laptop. Let me know if I made the game too quiet. Zan can see 1 second into the future, foreseeing how any decision will play out. His abilities revolve around time and supporting his team. Liv Kennedy, a legend in the Special Forces world, Liv's powers let her move on a different timescale to the rest of us, eliminating threats before they can react. Alright, use laptop. Objectives complete, hit done to proceed. What are we doing here, Liv? They've got us raiding a Druid Mafia smuggling ship. How is this a military op? You know, I don't ask those kinds of questions, Zan. And you know I sleep better than you. You don't care who we're extracting? Young adult male, what do you want? His dating profile? You can ask him if he likes long walks on the beach after we stop the shrub mob flaying him with a barrel cactus. You good with using force in Medellin waters? Go in quick and clean like I taught you, and they'll never know who hit him. I feel like that didn't address the substance of my question, but I guess it's not the time. I guess we're not finding out in this corridor. Rankscout.out.ru. Wrong side of the Iron Curtain, comrade. Guess we're not finding out in the corridor. Right, so it's behind door number 2. I see 4 hostiles, more Sprigs and an Elder Shrub Lord. You good for 3? I'm good for 4, but I'll let you feel useful. That was only 2! I'm letting you blossom. Okay, so obviously one of these... So there's a bit of a challenge here in the sense that, like, one of them I can knock out the window. I guess a 3-bolt burst should probably do 3 damage, but... What I'm not clear on, though, is how many... It looks like I just have... Okay, so it says move to the laptop. Shoot the enemy you can't take cover from. Ah, so I only do 1 damage there. Use the take cover ability, or you'll be shot at the end of your turn. Perfect. End turn to commit everything you've done and proceed. Knock out all enemies, 1 left. Alright. Once you've secured a room, movement is unlimited. Enjoy! Alright, what's next? 2 sprigs and a great oak and a ghillie suit. The great oak is wearing a ghillie suit? It is, yeah. Isn't it already a tree? Maybe they want to be mistaken for a snipe. Look, I just say what I see. Let's get in there and kill it. Breach! Perfect. End turn to commit everything you've done and proceed. Sacre bleu! Attack the Shrub Lord. Alright, this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to make a guess here. So I'm noticing that it's quite deliberately not guiding me on what to do. I don't know if there's a way that I can... So I think the problem I have here is it would seem to me that Kennedy gets knocked out the window in any of these scenarios. Can't take him. Can you dodge this? You're the one with the foresight. You tell me. You did. Use the foresee button to find out whether or not Liv can dodge the shot. No! You can always rewind all the way back to the start of your turn. Try it now. Move close enough to the Shrub Lord that he targets you instead. Alright, I'll take the hit. But you owe me a mending vial after this. I like how they're kind of onboarding me with this stuff. Alright, Intel said this is where they're holding the asset. You see him? Yeah, they got him bound and bagged. Feel something weird coming from him? No, but then I can't see the future. I can only move infinitely fast. Maybe I'll feel it for all of 0 seconds. I'm clearing the room and extracting him unharmed. Don't rush this one, Liv. There's a wild card in that room. I'm a chronomancer, Zan. I'm just saying, if something goes south, you know your orders. This asset is the priority. If you have to blink him out here yourself, do it. Liv, did you just admit you could fail? Are you okay? I'm just indulging your insecurities, Zan. Stop clutching your crystals. You gonna breach this year? The hell? You only have time to deal with one threat. Try saving Liv, see if they shoot the hostage. Try saving the hostage and see if Liv can save herself. Hang on. Okay, so if I do one of these, so then we can foresee. Damn it, where'd that thing take her? Rewind and try your other objectives. Oh! Ugh, can't see shit. Tell me you saved the asset. Shit, I can't save them both. You only have time to save one person. The hostage must survive. Can't I commit? Okay. I think this is the only call. Move next to the hostage and use blink out to extract them. Vesker to WizTac, requesting immediate blink out. I have the asset, but something got Kennedy. I don't know if you were... Tactical breach wizards. I hope every name in the credits gets breached. Act 1, The Break. Rushwater PD, the DSR. Nowish. So let me get this straight. A notorious druid mafia enforcer gets shot by a doctor. Let me just see. Okay. So I'm hoping, Vanguard Master, pay attention to these quality settings. So actual peach blizzards, practical peach blizzards, practical beach lizards, tactical beach lizards, tactical beach wizards, and tactical breach wizards. Yeah, I don't know what time you visited. I know you work in Unreal, but I should mention the developer behind this does some good essays, and on top of that, actually did quite a comprehensive Unity tutorial, I believe, while working on this. Right. So let me get this straight: a notorious druid mafia enforcer gets shot by a doctor. And the first person on the scene just happens to be the meddling witch every cop loves to hate. Jen Kellen, PI. Being near two locations is my passion. What is it going to take to stop you inserting yourself into every missing person case we investigate? I mean, you could try finding the people. Well, I'm sorry if solid police work sometimes takes a little longer than your witch's tricks, but we have procedures for a reason. People don't hire me when you're slow, they hire me when you've given up. From what I hear, people don't hire you much at all these days. Look, let me fail at this at my own pace. Alright, so you hear a shot, you burst in with these breaching glyphs, and you find Wexler already dead. Describe the shooter. White-haired woman, good-looking, smartly dressed, except for the surgical gloves. And a gun. Oh, she'd put the gun down. You went for it, even with all your spells and trinkets? It was more about her not getting the gun. And what happened? She got there first. I'm dead now. Kellen, I got to it first. She seemed to reevaluate her situation at that point. She ran. And then you guys showed up with the fucking traffic warlock. And what's your problem with Sergeant Clark? He made me kneel even though I'd already dropped the gun. He picked it up without gloves. He tracked mud all over the scene, and he put a 2-week stasis curse on my car. It's going to cost me more to get that disenchanted than I got paid for this whole job. Lucky for you, we're backed up, and it's not worth the time to prosecute you for any of this. Prosecute me? The next time you call us, stay put, stay out, and leave your wand at home. Can you unhex my car, please? I'm not insured for temporal curses. I'll have to take that up with Craft and Arcana Control. Did you get her? We have someone matching that description in custody, yes. Can I talk to her? Can you talk to the prime suspect in a murder investigation? No, Kellen, you can't. You're a PI, a provisional PI. Get out of here. Fine. You're welcome, by the way. Unbelievable. Hey, did you know your station is on fire? What? You're too late to stop me. I don't know who you are. Oh. You're not Zan Vesker, Navy Seer? Nope. My name's Jen. Is Zan here? I don't think so. Haven't seen him in years. Ah. Well, prepare to burn! Oh, no thanks. Defenestrate the Psychomancer. If you insist. Less lethal Pyromancer. This reminds you the time your house got hit by lightning, the neighbor came knocking at your door, opened up and said, "You guys know your roof is on fire, right?" Oh dear. I did not know I would be tested. Zan, I was just talking about you. Jen, what are you doing here? Solving a murder. How about you? Being arrested for... Remind me? It's a list at this point. They think I'm part of the team raiding this station. I served with Zan, guys. I'll vouch for him. No one cares. You remember what it means if I give the signal, right? 1 second on the clock. I remember. That's enough. On your knees. Now! New ability Chain Bolt. Goes through multiple targets, knocking each in a different direction. Whew, thanks. Sorry it came to that. One of those guys kind of had it coming. And the others? Didn't know them, but they'll be fine. I cast slow fall wards on the windows. So, how you been? Terrible, thanks. How about you? What have you been up to? The team casting its way through this station right now is led by my former CEO, Liv Kennedy. She might be the most dangerous person on the planet. I think she's trying to start a war, and it might be my fault. So, stopping that. I have some follow-ups, but I guess we should hustle. These guys didn't like me much before I defenestrated 2 of their colleagues, so we should probably get out of this building in the next 4 minutes if we don't want to stay here for 25 to life. What are we going to see when we open this? 1 cop, body armor, nightstick. Enforcer. They're tough. I suggest we try and put them through a window. You can't throw all of life's problems through windows, Jen. Alright, I've been waiting for this moment since the trailer. I do want to try throwing this problem through this window, though. Maybe not, but we owe it to ourselves to try, and really? How hard are you throwing? Maybe not, but we owe it to ourselves to try. Yeah, it actually might be the right call here. I'll have to come at him from the side to set you up. Take him when you have the shot. Ready? Breach! Okay, You can reposition wizards at the start of the level, use the redeploy ability to move Zan to the breach position. Oh, cool. Alright, so presumably we knock him here, and then Jen can static blast him out the window. Alright, so what does your former CEO have against the Rushwater PD? I don't know. What's her overall objective? I don't know. Who's she working for? Reactor. Great, and what's their objective? I don't know. Who was the fire guy I ran into earlier? He asked after you, by the way. Oh, really? That's nice. I don't know who that is. Right. Maybe we'll stick to Liv. How long have you been on this investigation? 3 months. Sad. I'm a clairvoyant with an assault staff. I've never had to solve mysteries before. You need someone with investigative skills. Someone whose career is in a temporary dry spell despite her obvious talent. Hey, I'm hiring if you're interested. What does it pay? Nothing. I'm broke. That's actually very competitive with what I'm earning right now. I'll take a look at your files. Files? Right. Zan! I'll make some. Never mind. What's up next? Another enforcer. And bad news, no windows. Well, that rules out every strategy I know. Should we just shunt him around until he gets so frustrated he goes home? But you have an excellent plan? I can set up a shot that'll knock him flat if he comes my way. Why don't you just use that all the time? It's a time thing. You gotta set it up in an empty space and hope they walk into it. Why? It's an amethyst-jacketed time crystal. It exists in all places along its trajectory simultaneously. So when you touch it, it's like getting shot in the past, present, and future, and a fourth time phase mortals can't perceive. And that makes you fall down. That sounded cool, but didn't meaningfully explain anything. Fair. Breach? Breach! Alright, I don't believe I can... Oh, maybe I can. No meaningful redeployments. Okay. So I got an idea here. So if we move Zan over here and Predictive Bolt, then we can move Jen up here and Static Blast him. Perfect. End turn to commit everything you've done and proceed. Sacre bleu! Heads up, reinforcements. Shit, we should have put a ward on that door. I mean, I guess we can do the trick here. Shame on you, Lord Gloom. I bought this day one and then waited 2 years to play. Not exactly 2 years. A year and change. But yeah, this is... I've been looking forward to playing this. What's the plan this time? I don't know. Improvise. Inspiring. Okay. Knock out 3 enemies. Use laptop to open the security door. No reinforcements. I'm assuming part of this is teaching me to redeploy. So I think some of the logic that I'm looking at here would be setting up the predictive bolt. That's probably not what I want, but okay. I will deal with this. Ah. Right. So I only have one action. Presumably we don't have our guy get taken out. Okay, so it's told me I need at least one wizard going into the room. This wasn't... I don't believe this was on the Epic Store as an exclusive. I also like the Epic Store, but... Alright, this is it. Way out? It's on the way out. Wait, you haven't been leading us out of here this whole time? You haven't been following me, have you? I don't know where I'm going. I've been leading us to the one little thing I need to do before we can leave. You know, we're in a police station where both of us are resisting arrest while it's simultaneously being raided by a team of Black Ops wizards, one of whom can transcend time? Sure, but there's no sense rushing. So where are we headed? This office leads to the holding cells. There's someone there I need to talk to. You're working a case? Now? Look, I've been calling myself a PI for over a year now, and I've had a grand total of 3 cases in the last 2 months, and 2 of them couldn't pay. Jiren Wexler was the last one on my docket, maybe ever, and today I found him 10 seconds after he was shot in the head, by a doctor. Continue ranting, vaguely aware you may be oversharing, but unable to rein it in at this point. I'm too late to save him, and I'm too late to get paid, but I've got one last chance to find out why he died before what we just did makes me a fugitive or a prisoner. And if I don't take it, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm sorry, Jen. For a second, I forgot what it cost me to save you back there. I won't forget again. I mean, I already did. Inside of an hour! Yeah, so my track record isn't great so far, but I'll try. Whatever you need, I've got your back. Thanks. What are you about to walk into? A mess. You ready? No, but that's not going to change. Breach. Actually, we should probably think about where to breach. Okay, so got a couple of obvious candidates. I'm thinking maybe Zan redeploying here. So it seemed to me the obvious... Oh! I still can probably... that's not gonna help with the... Right, I need mana for the chain bolt. You know what, I think I blew this. I'm just gonna see how this works. Okay, so he'll only get knocked back 1, which is a problem. That does work, but yeah, I think I'm gonna switch it up a bit. So it seems to me the obvious candidate here is a Static Blast. No, I guess I'm technically not under any obligation to breach both of these, but... So I think the drawback here is if I do one of these, like, oh, I can take cover. Interesting. Right, but I only get one move at a time, so then I can't smack the Enforcer down. So... Yeah, the funny thing is I got mana for the character that apparently doesn't need mana. Okay, I'm curious, if I do this... Ha ha ha! The day is mine. So of course the catch here is ideally I get mana somehow for... Actually, this will do the trick. So again, I'm sure there's some, or not again, but I'm sure there's some efficiencies as far as how the turn could have gone, but... No awards. Rushwater PD holding cells. Hi, me again. Don't know if you heard, this station is currently being raided by a Spec Ops team. One of whom can transcend time. Right, and much of it is on fire. If you tell me why you shot Wexler, I can get you out of here before even more of it is on fire. How? Well, obviously I'd go through the appropriate legal channels, but with the right lawyer, it could be under 6 months. And if I don't satisfy your curiosity, you'll leave me here to die? Classy. Fine. If you don't tell me, we'll still save you, but our hearts won't be in it. The quality of the rescue may suffer. Okay, I do like the sudden explosion. What the hell just happened? I think you just met Liv Kennedy. I didn't love it. Reunite with Zanvesker, complete. Escape Rushwater PD alive, complete. Avoid any long-term consequences. Okay, I'm a lot more interested in your case now. Who is Banks? And why did the best Spec Ops team on the planet just assault a police station to abduct her? Oh, now you're interested. More interested. I was already interested, but in a what's up with you way. Dessa Banks. I caught a glimpse of her at a police. I caught a glimpse at her police file. They have her pegged as a mob doc for the Druid Mafia. When I found her, she just shot her patient in the head with a .45. If she's not mob, she definitely missed a pivotal day in med school. Oh, wait a minute. This might be the there's like the necromedic who like heals, but you have to kill some, like they can only raise from the dead. So, but why would Liv Kennedy want her? Was she an especially good doctor? I guess it's possible that she's a great doctor, and shooting her patient in the head before surgery was just a kind of power move. Your turn. What's the story with you and Liv? We ran an extraction on a Druid Mafia smuggling ship back in '89. She got snared just as they were about to execute the hostage. I had to choose. I chose the hostage. For years, I thought I'd got her killed. Then 6 months ago, she resurfaces, pulling brutal heists for a PMC. I don't know what she's trying to achieve, but I know I failed her back in '89. If there's some way I can talk her down from this, I have to try. Who is Liv Kennedy? She was my commander in the Navy Special Forces. She's a chronomancer. She can move on a different timescale to the rest of us. You're dead before you know she's coming on to you. Yeah, I got a taste of that. I served with her for 5 years on some nightmare clusterfucks, and I think Liv may be the most dangerous single combatant on this planet. Everyone who saw her work said it sooner or later. I'm glad she's on our side. Well, now she's not. Now she works for Reactor. Reactor are private military, right? Who's hiring them this time? Private, but huge. The 9th strongest military in the world, last I heard. If you'd asked me yesterday, I would have said they're the DSR military by another name. But if they're sending Liv Kennedy to kill cops on DSR soil, something massive has changed, and I have no idea why. If she's gone off book, all we're looking at is a god-tier operative becoming a serial killer with an unknown agenda. And if not, if today was a reactor-authorized op, this could light the fuse for World War V. The whole geopolitical landscape of the Southern Hemisphere is going to lurch in ways I can't predict, even I can't predict. And I'm a seer. Okay, we do need to make some files. I have a map. We can work with that. a perk point. Oh, okay, I get it. +2 knockback if used at point blank range. Bonus targets. Strong finish 2 knockback on the final target. I think I'm going to go +1 target for now. I love this system, by the way, so I actually don't know if it's fully explained at this point, or if I just inferred it from the trailer. But I believe the way this works is that your better gear is increasingly outlandish outfits, but you need the confidence to be able to pull off the outfits. And I think this was not intended, but I do actually rather like the idea that on the evening of the Met Gala, we're playing a game which allows you to equip outfit, or that the experience system is. Hang on, what am I missing here? Move on. A lovely condo, 48 minutes away. This your safe house? It's cute. Well, it's my ma's place. She's at bingo. Alright, well, here's what we need. Your map, a printer, some thumbtacks, and like 40 meters of red string. She actually might be the only person I know that has that combination of items lying around. I like her already. Let's get to it. So how does this work? You drag string between us to prove we're friends? Likes, complicated cases, good filing systems, skulls of every kind, my cat Daryl, not mutual. Dislikes, Steve Clark, traffic warlock, the Rushwater Police, loose ends. Hobbies, scrying, crying, interrogating Daryl when he does a crime. Ugh, I hate writing bios. I'm a storm witch, private investigator, and a legal guardian to one emotionally distant cat. For the last 3 years, I've been finding missing people the cops couldn't or wouldn't. But it doesn't pay well, and work is drying up. Oh shit, these notes are smaller than I realized. Zan's thing sounds serious, and I think I can help, so off I go. Likes naval history, Ma's spiced apricots, something... forensic seeding, assault staves. Dislikes, memory tests, decisions, dairy, being asked about his dislikes. Hobbies, providing emotional support, providing fire support, backgammon. Zan is an extremely old, what the hell, Jen? Retired Special Forces operative who can see the future. Actually, he can only see 1 second into the future, but in a breach and clear operation, that's a big deal. Zan used to serve under Liv Kennedy in the DSR Navy until she was lost in action. Now that she's back with a violent unknown agenda, Zan worries that he might be the only one who knows how dangerous she is or how to counteract her power. He's probably overblowing it, though. Oh, here we go. Liv Kennedy likes acting quickly, acting decisively, acting like a prick. Dislikes weakness, slowness, stowerness. Town in Norland. Hobbies, dodgeball, don't play her at this. Bloody knuckles, don't play her at this. 100-meter sprint, don't race her at this. Liv was the DSR Navy's star covert operative. She's able to move on a different timescale to the rest of us, rendering her actions effectively instantaneous. It's absolute bullshit. She vanished on her last official op with Zan and disappeared for 2 years. Now she's back with a team of Special Forces wizards cutting a bloody path through the powder keg of southeastern geopolitics like a bull in a house of cards. No, it's Rushwater PD survived a brutal strike. A team of Special Forces wizards led by Liv Kennedy breached the Rushwater Police Department, killing 14 and bursting out a prisoner, Dessa Banks. Zan arrived hot on their tail, arguably too hot. The cops assumed he was part of it. I heroically rescued him. Too much, Jen? And we got out alive. But we're not popular in the DSR now. Or sorry, too much? Jen is how I should have read that. But we're not popular in the DSR now. Dessa Banks, mob doctor? We're not sure. I walked in on Banks right after she shot the mobster I was tracking, Jiren Wexler. According to her file, she used to be a surgeon at Rushwater General, but dropped off the grid a year ago and is now a mob doc for the Druid Mafia. Now Liv Kennedy has abducted her at a massive risk, and we're all left panicking about what she knows about Banks that we don't. And Reactor, elite paramilitary outfit, one of the biggest and by far the most effective private military outfit in the world. For years, Reactor have done the DSR's dirty work, but now that they've hit a police station on Rushwater soil, they've bitten the hand that feeds them and off the hand that feeds them and swallowed it whole. All bets are off. All right. Liv Kennedy abducted Dessa Banks. Hey, it all makes sense to me. No rush, or if you want to rearrange or go over the details, though. I'm curious what asking Zan's opinion would do. I'm assuming that's like ask for a hint, but... Okay, so we have no idea why Liv took Banks. At this point, I'd settle for where she took Banks. Oh, I can answer that. Seriously? Give me 6 newt bones and a vial of her blood, and I can scry her location to within 3 meters. Okay, newt bones sounds doable. Yeah, I've got an arrangement with the pet shop downtown. But how do we get a hold of her blood? The cops would have taken it when they booked her, part of the standard DNA log. It'll be in the evidence lockup in Stonecliff. And is that guarded? Heavily, but I know a guy who owes me. I helped him find his skink last June. As long as they haven't heard about the clusterfuck at Rushwater yet, I bet I can just ask him. Stonecliff evidence lockup, where Jen knows a guy. I think they heard about the Rushwater thing. Now they get efficient? Confidence goals. These are optional extra goals that boost a wizard's confidence. As in life, confidence is only needed to wear more daring outfits. Try for them, but don't stress it. You can always come back to get them later with any new perks you've unlocked. They vary each level. Move the cursor over them to find out what they are this time. What am I missing here? Oh, here we go. Nope. Oh, I get it. Okay. Finish with all team members at full health and defenestrate 2 hostiles with a Gale grenade. Interesting. Okay, so we need to clear... I mean, the defenestration is pretty obvious here, but I need to clear the sharpshooter first. That is more challenging. So, I mean, one option I have as a start is grabbing the intel. And from there I can chain bolt. That doesn't help me as much. I don't like that. Okay, that doesn't work. Yeah, okay. This is interesting. So I get one move. Okay, I'm slightly curious if I can do something clever here. No. No, I cannot. That was even worse. I don't really think I want to do that second hit, so... Alright, I mean, that didn't help me grenade-wise. Okay, that cover did nothing. I'm trying to think how I can nudge someone closer to the window, and I don't think that can happen unless we take out the sharpshooter, so... Awkward. Okay, this seems insane, but I have a plan. Oh crap, I don't have the mana for it. It is properly insane. Fascinating. Okay. So this is to knock him back. Jen can move up. No! There's gotta be a way I can make the Gale grenade work here. Hmm. I've really put myself into a tough. Sorry. I should have. I should have thought through the earlier turns more, and I suspect that there would be an option to reverse, but I want to try and engage in the spirit of things. Okay, so the obvious move here, I have to get Zan out of the way of the danger. So I do want to knock people out of the window. I can protect. You know what? The Grenadier is just causing me pain. So here we'll crouch. Okay, that doesn't help. Okay. So problem here is if I crouch, I still get popped. I can do the static blast. So this at least frees up the movement. I guess the best I can do here is the predictive bolt. I mean, obviously there's a ton of people running into the level now, but... Okay, so one of the challenges here... I have a bit of a positioning problem. So I'm curious about one thing here, which is if I Gale Grenade, yeah, that's insufficient to take. It'll shuffle people around, but it won't properly take them out. Which is fine. Like, one of the things I can do here is try and make the... Yeah, I really should have paid attention to the fact that I had a limited resource in the form of that mana. Right, if I don't... Yeah, so if I want to rely on line of sight, let's be a bit of a jerk. This still doesn't exactly help me in terms of sight lines. Well, no, I've got an idea. So I can do one of these, burst them down, take cover. So we at least have the Grenadier down, so I can presumably maneuver people by making Zan do his thing. So... that's not gonna be enough. Okay. And Jen's not where I need her. Ah, that's tricky. Yeah, I don't know how I I don't know how I reposition them from here. 1 per encounter on the Gale Grenade? Okay, yeah, then I definitely haven't... Okay, I'm going to restart the level just because of the Gale debacle. Jen, I think I heard about the Rushwater thing. Now they get efficient? All right. So, now that I know better, Jen definitely needs to grab the intel. I'm not convinced there's a better thing for me to do right now, so we will end the turn. Okay, this is where it gets a little funny. So if I go up here and I Gale Grenade, insufficient. If I go up here, maybe. Okay, so there's an idea here. So if we move Jen up like this, aha! Now we've got it. Okay, can't seal the door here, but we're definitely closer to the kind of win that I need. I'm wondering if I can predictive bolt the guy coming through the door. All right, so from what I understand, one of the ideas behind this game was, you know, if you play a game like Into the Breach or XCOM or something like that, you'll occasionally have some turns where, like, you just have this stroke of genius and you feel like $1 million, and then, like, the rest of the time the game is just, like, repeatedly kicking you in the balls over and over again, which is what repeatedly means, I suppose. So from what I understand, the whole, like, rewind mechanic and such is specifically designed to help you have more of those, like, I am a genius moments. And what I really like about this too is that it's not a complete blank slate. Like, I had to reset the level, but it's just the right. It's kind of just the right pacing where there's no major consequence. But you, like, so you have lots of room to explore inside of a level, or inside of a turn, but, like, you have to commit the turn. It's almost like it's removed the part where I would save and reload in most games. I really like how they've done this. I'm not getting any prizes on this. All right, what are we looking for? A blue folder. Our blood's in a blue folder? No, but our file will tell us where they're storing it. Okay, so just grab every blue file I see? Yep, unless your time brain lets you read them instantly or something. I can do 1 second of reading 1 second sooner than I otherwise would. That doesn't sound like it's gonna do it. No. Breach? Breach. Interesting. So there's 2 reinforcement doors. I'm not convinced the Grenadier's the one I need to worry about right now. The big question here is going to be how I take advantage of the chain bolt. So let's just experiment here. I don't think that's gonna... Okay, first of all, I don't have the mana, so shame on me. Second of all, bad for my health. But... yeah, maybe not. Okay. All right, it should be. Let a single teammate perform 2 actions in 1 turn. Deal with all enemies by the end of turn 1. Wow. I didn't think that was possible. That was a really weak use of that ability. Not quite what I wanted to do. Oh, right. I see why it's doing that. Yeah, man, I'd love to try and figure out how to deal with all the enemies in 1 turn, but I don't think that's a good use of my time right now. Okay. This is actually a really terrible place for me to be because I don't have... Yeah, this was very careless on my part, just because I don't really have a game plan for getting... Okay. We'll move Zan up like so we can predictive bolt this. So Jen can do the... yeah. And we take cover. So that's going to be another turn of reinforcements, but we should be able to work on the... I could have handled this a little better. So if I go here, yeah, I'm in the danger zone. I'm just trying to take advantage of the knockdown. All right. Don't really have many options here. Now, if I go to this spot, I get taken out. So I can at least take cover here. This feels like it would be ideal for the chain bolt. Ooh, not so good. I mean, I can predictive bolt just for the sake of it. It's not an efficient way of doing the level, but... Let a single teammate perform 2 actions in one... Okay, yeah. I think I misread what that was supposed to be, but we will, we'll move forward. Where are you going? Both of these overpasses lead to the next building. We can do it in tandem. Okay, but you get shot the moment you walk through that door. Oh, good note. Let me breach first, see if I can take care of it from my side. Aha! Clever. All right. Interesting. Yeah, we're fine. Oh, 1 action unused. I'm not sure. Let's what's the story here? Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do breaches. So I definitely think the idea here is to provide the support between the different levels. So I imagine what it wants me to do here. Oh, right. Cause predictive bolt to fire before the foresee phase. Okay. This could be very stupid of me, but... Ooh. This is definitely very stupid of me. Yeah, so that just goes after Jen now. And I lost the action. Okay, this was not a well-considered turn. So, I do want to try and get the... defenestration. Question is, what can I do... Like, it would seem to me that this is the obvious candidate for... This is just for the heck of it at this point. Right, and I didn't get the... Okay, grab the intel. Again, I don't really think this is going to work, but... So I can't predictive bolt. No! Damn it! I thought the grenade might be able to get me somewhere with that. Huh. Okay, I mean, I guess the question is, do I need to be so precious about... Like, so if I say we're going to end the turn so that we can position ourselves better, is there something different that I'm going to do that will make this work? Let's see. So that only knocked one guy out. Okay, I got an idea for at least getting Zan taken care of. I might as well grab the intel, although I don't... Oh, time... What does that do? Throw at an ally to give them one extra action. Sacre bleu! Alright, that would have changed everything. We're still gonna go ahead, though. I don't need to spend the whole... Simple. No real reason to give Jen the extra move yet, so... Predictive Bolt takes this guy out, then Jen can work on the left. Or actually, better still, seal the door. So, yeah, obviously I'm really dropping the confidence stuff, but... Found Banks. She was between Jubba and Hiddlesbottom, logically. We've all found ourselves there. This is her blood samples in Fridge 5, room 304. So, one floor up. Great, let's go. You brought the Newt bones? I don't leave the house without 6 to 20 newt bones. Okay, so where is she? She is about 100 meters east. Did you perform the spell 100 times too small? Nope, she's in the next building. And what's that? Controlled substances, I think. Why would they break her out of one police station just to take her to another? I don't know. Want to go find out? After I realign some time crystals, yes. Steve, you're sure this is every gram of blue you have? Yep. Every seizure in the DSR ends up here. All right, Bori, light it up. All will burn! In a very mild fire. It is not mild fire. That's a total misnomer. I should not have to take this from a traffic cop. I'm a traffic warlock, and you're a failed arsonist. I'd like to see you untangle the M6 Spaghetti Junction with some lukewarm flames. Lukewarm! Much as I'd love to hear where this clash of the intellectual titans goes, we have a ride to catch. Steve, stick around and make sure your cop pals don't put this out. Bori, bring Banks. Well, that exchange raised a lot more questions than it answered. Is Liv's team's burning mana? Why? Not for the smell, I'm guessing. Why do Rushwater PD even have this much mana? The street value of this must be millions. They're supposed to destroy it all at the end of every month. Maybe Defense told him to... I've heard of states stockpiling it on the QT. No one has a military use for it yet, but they're all scared someone's going to find one. That was the fire guy I was telling you about. Oh, right. I do remember him now. So, when I said fire guy earlier, you didn't think of the guy who's permanently on fire? You meet a lot of colorful characters in this line of work. Aren't you unemployed? That's what I mean. So who is he? Bori Kesh, the less lethal pyromancer. How does that work? I think his flames are, like, quite hot, but not fire hot, you know? Like, you can't go about your day, but it's more of an aloe vera situation than an impromptu cremation. You look like you want to ask something. Who's the guy in the Dayglow robe? Ugh, that's Steve. Steve Clark, traffic warlock. I keep running into him on my cases, and I always forget what a slimy prick he truly is. Wow, Jen. Shit. Get fucked, Steve! Can we take him? How good are you at dodging spectral cars filled with skeleton ghosts? Never made it past regionals. Let's see if that cuts it. Crush Hour sends forth a spectral motorcade of ghost riders that hits everyone in the red zone and then returns to the underworld, pending traffic conditions on the 7th Circle Junction. Very cute. All right, finish with all team members at full health, and Jen has to defenestrate Steve Clark. Oh, we gotta give this one to Jen. Excuse me. I'm just trying to think. I don't think that's going to knock him out, but let's see. No! I mean, there's nothing stopping me from All right. Hmm. I don't think this is really going to matter, but... So I'm thinking if I do this... it doesn't... I don't think that's going to move him to the side, though. But a Gale Grenade will... Victory is mine! I think I have a... Oh, actually, you know what? I don't need to get that clever. This is probably my favorite side objective. Steal a murderer's blood. Complete. Use it to track them down. Complete. Defeat Steve Clark. Police warlock in combat. Complete. Defeat Steve Clark. Traffic warlock in conversation. Well, he certainly has some difficult self-examination to do in the days and weeks to come. All right. One thing I recall actually from... So I visited a strategy broadcaster I quite like, and I kind of noticed how good they were explaining their reasoning in terms of some of the actions that they were going to take, and I don't know if I've been doing as good of a job with that for this game and XCOM previously. So, I'm going to take a small break. I'm going to try and do the full length of the stream, but I know I started late. Yeah, I'm just going to take a break so I can sort of have a stretch and finish my drink and just, otherwise take care of myself. And then we'll be back for at least a little while longer. We'll see if there's a sort of a good natural breaking point. But I'm really liking this. I have a small regret that I didn't do it sooner, but I'm actually really, really happy to be doing it right now. So, anyways, I will see you all in a little bit. Hello, Pandora Carp. Sorry I missed you when you came in. I don't even know how long that break was. I'm sorry if that was extended. Two things I want to try and do, and you can keep me honest on this if you, particularly if you don't follow what I'm up to. So, I'm really enjoying this. I don't know if I will go for the full 3 hours, although in fairness, I only have another hour left before that we reach that anyway. But one of the things I want to do and get a little better at, especially reflecting on XCOM and some of the things, I felt I used to be a lot better at this, and I sort of reflected on it when I watched another strategy broadcaster go. I felt I used to be better about describing what I was thinking while playing the game, and I'm going to try and do that. If it's not clear why I'm doing certain things and you'd like to know, please let me know in chat. And I will just say that I recognize it is my job to do the thing. But if it is helpful to all of you, I can't be good at XCOM. I think there are some people who are very good at XCOM, but no, what I mean here is just, if I am not being clear in terms of my plan and intentions, and you'd like to know, it will be helpful for me to get the nudge just so I can kind of get back on track. But please don't think that that's homework. Please just see that as, you know, an invitation to remind me if I'm sort of failing to do so on my own. Anyways, we are gonna progress the story. Spend each character's perk points. All right, so we will. So +1 damage, supportive fire, once per turn. When a teammate uses their standard attack, take a free shot at that target. Interesting. Conviction, if the shot knocks someone out, it can be used again this turn. Validation, if the shot fires on your turn, gain +1 mana. Both of those are actually quite appealing. I also did not realize that it was a 4 damage. I thought it was sort of an insta-kill, so that's good for me to know. I hate to say it, but you know what? 2 damage and 1 knockback. Not sure. Let's try and generate the mana off of things. Not enough confidence for a new outfit yet. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I was actually saying it's like maybe we'll finish when we're at the maybe we'll finish when we finish the break, but we did just do the break. So hello, Satan could beat up Jesus. I feel like it has been a while. Very good to see you. How you doing? So I mean, I could try pillars. Let's see if we can do... Deal with all enemies by the end of turn 1. This one fascinates me. So we're darn close to achieving that goal. The problem I run into here... Okay, so if we take... I have an idea. Ah, Damn it! So I was thinking I could... I could use the time boost to give Jen the static blast to knock this guy back. And apparently I can't grab mana diagonally. That's such a disappointment. I feel like I was so close to and it would seem to me that we probably... Yeah, so... Oh, but we did let a single teammate perform 2 actions in 1 turn. Aha! Okay, I see how this works now. All right, that got us a... That got us at least 1 more completion. Let's, Okay, so it's Pillars and Corridors are the 2 that we don't have the points for. So let's see what we can do for Jen here. Okay, so I don't want to get popped at the start of this one, so clearly... I mean, obviously it's Defenestrate 3 in 1 turn, so let's do the thing. Yeah. Okay. I have ideas here. So this is just to clear out the baddie. I'm gonna preserve the Gale Grenade and things like that, but in this case we're just gonna do this. So this strikes me as the best opportunity to... get my Defenestrate 3 hostiles. So what I'm thinking here is I can get... there's a couple things that I want to do. One is I want to breach, probably use the chain to... knock some people out of the windows and such. And use a Gale Grenade. But the other thing that's nice is Zan should be able to chuck a time boost by moving in, and hopefully that will clear out the Enforcer as well. So I don't have like a 100% plan on exactly how that's going to work, and it would be nice if I could find a way to sort of clear these guys out. I may even say, you know what, it's better for me to... Actually, no, I kind of have to... If we're defenestrating, I have to take out the RPD tracker through the window here. I don't have a way of knocking these other two out. So I'm going to have to make sure the chain bolt knocks out RPD Enforcer Easterling. And then presumably I use the Gale or something like that. Anyways, like I said, we'll figure it out next turn. I can end it to reset the actions, and rewind will take care of the specifics. Now, best I can tell, I gotta do the chain shot here. But I suppose there is a reasonable question about what I can do from this position. Okay, so in the interests of experimentation, let's say we do this, this, and this. Good start. I see the challenge now, but I'm not convinced. Actually, I don't even need to think that hard about this. Oh, that's a shame. So I would have thought I could three... yeah, it's because Jen's in the way. But she doesn't have to be, so... In fact, it looks like I don't even need to use the Gale Grenade here, so... No, can't do that. Okay, so I grab the intel, smack him down. Jen goes across here. Now, the static blast should knock them back too, so now that I've gotten the intel, we toss the time boost to Jen. Jen turns around, static blasts out the wall, out the window. Now we've got it. All right. In principle, I think that was available to me when I first did this, and I just wasn't bright enough. But I am capable of learning. I don't see any... I don't know if there's an advantage to not... I mean, I guess bragging rights, but... I mean, I suppose... no, so if I breach, he's gonna try and take me out. I mean, we can try. Let's just see... Honestly, I feel like this is just creating more pain for me, but... Okay. So I don't have the chain bolt as an option. As long as Jen can take this guy out, I'm fine. That's an open question, though. So that's cleared. So now Jen can take cover. Zan can leave cover. Oh. I was originally going to predictive bolt, but... Alright, looks like we're facing down the baddies. I didn't quite think that through, but we'll be fine. So, what's the smartest way for me to take these guys out? So I think the static blast... No, static blast... This is the funny part. I need someone to... Hang on. I do +1 damage, right? Nope, 1 damage. So the hope was... I think I know how I'm going to do this. It's not efficient, but... Okay, but we're starting to clean up the confidence. So, pillars... Deal with all the enemies by the end of turn 1. So, I'll confess I'm not crazy about the idea of just sort of running in and randomly trying some stuff. But this isn't the worst. So, if I chain bolt, okay, so I've got 3 guys down here. Shucks. So what I want to think about, or the smarter thing for me to think about here is if I can get Jen somewhere, what's the best way for me to get her in a spot she can take a second action? So I still think it's this introduction. I think it's still this breach here. So there's 2 things that are going to organize this turn. One of them's going to be my ability to get mana. So it's, you know, either here, here, or here. The other thing that's important, though, is I need to make sure that I'm getting mana in a way that I can take out a lot of guys and still be in a position to take out another one. So, for instance, I have to go here if I want to attack the Grenadier Bonetto. However, I think the problem with this one, if I grab the intel... Okay, that does knock him down. There's like hope on this one, and the real problem... Yeah, so this doesn't work for me here. Hey, Tiberiasi. So there's some appeal to this one if I grab the intel. So then we do the chain shot. Okay, but then I'm denied this attack. So it invites the question, how am I going to take advantage of the static blast when that becomes available? So I suppose at this point that would give me the third option of breaching on this end. So either of these are options, although I think it also... No. I'm starting to get ideas now. So if we grab the intel here, let's say we leave the Grenadier Canopus for the static blast. So we chain bolt the tracker, the Grenadier. Sacre bleu! That was so promising. You know, I still may be able to do the static blast, though. Although, obviously, that didn't take out... Okay, let's not rule this out. So grab the intel. Right, but the angles are weird. So if I grab the intel, shoot him. I don't think this leaves me enough options, so I can predictive bolt this. And then the problem is I can move Jen in. So like there's the beginnings of something interesting here. So I can grab the intel, I can chain bolt. And then the problem is that I still leave a couple of people open without any real, without any real plan to take them out. I do wonder though, if I say Gale Grenade instead, yeah, I can't throw the Gale Grenade through. Wow, is it really that easy? Okay, I think I got it. So, from there, we time boost Jen. We time boost Jen. No! Okay. We time boost Jen. And coup de grace. There we go. So, too much trial and error, but it worked. I guess now we need to clean up. Easier said than done, actually. These guys are not in an easy place to handle. This one is just pure and simple, like a hammer to the forebrain. I don't think the predictive bolt will do much, but here this is just clean up. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I did not think that I would get the. I did not think I would get the take everybody out on turn one. And again, I'm not. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'll confess, I did not think I was going to get all the confidence, but The dastardly designers have decided that we don't get to try new outfits. All right, how are we for time? We can do one more in Act 2. Didn't like that guy. Right? Steve was always an asshole, but he's never actively thrown a ghost car at me before. New low. When we get back, can you scry again to find out where they took Banks? Oh, no need. Blood scrying updates in real time for up to 36 hours. Shit, that's impressive. Can't beat blood for utility hexes. Where is she now? North by 80 kilometers already? Is that possible? Is she moving? Give me a sec. Yes. Extremely yes. God, like 400 meters since you asked? They've got a chopper. Of course they've got a chopper. Man, chasing a multi-billion-dollar PMC's best operatives by public transport is surprisingly hard. Where do you think they're headed? Liboli. Reactor has a black site west of Aldo. Nice quiet place where they can do what they want to prisoners like Banks. And I guess we're going to Liboli. Yeah. In like 14 hours when the next ferry leaves. Can we stay at your mom's place tonight? Yeah, she'd love that. She should be back by bingo by now, actually. Back to Ma's for a nice cup of tea. Oh lordy, you didn't tell me we were having company, Zan. I would have cleaned. God, sorry. What you must think, Duck, that I live in filth. Oh, you should see my flat. Can't move for goat skulls. This is Jen. You remember I mentioned her? You know, I don't remember my own name half the time, Duck. Lovely to meet you, though, Jen. Can I get you a brandy? Or something stronger? Nice to meet you too, Mrs. Vesker. Oh, please, call me Benna. Now, how long will you kids be staying? Just the night, if that's okay, Ma. Of course, love. Stay as long as you'd like. Where are you off to tomorrow? Liboli. Oh, how wonderful. Oh, you must take Jen to the Naval Museum in Aldo. You remember where I used to take you on your birthday? Oh, she'd love it, Zan. We're there to stop a team of Black Ops wizards torturing a hostage and starting World War V, Ma. I'm not sure there'll be time for the museum. Oh, it's such a lovely country, Jen. Not like here. Didn't you and Dad flee for your lives because a PharmaCorp tried to kill him for whistleblowing? Well, every country has its problems, Duck. Have you been, Jen? I have. Actually, it's where Zan and I met when I did my mandatory tour. Oh, so you know. Lovely. I expect he's told you his origin story. Zan winces. That's not what we call it, Ma. And I'm sure she doesn't want to. Oh, I absolutely want to hear your origin story. Oh, God. Don't we have a map to update? I saw your map. It's lovely to see you doing crafts again, Duck. I'm glad someone's finally using this wretched thumbtacks. I bought that box back in 1943, and I've scarcely made a dent. What's it about? There's no easy way to say this, Mrs. Vesker, but your son is terrible at filing. I had a system. I just never got around to making the system. Ah, you've got your father's spirit, Zan. Aw, that's sweet. No, he had a terrible spirit. Just a dogshit spirit. Ma! Well, I'm sorry. That man would give up on anything. I once saw him give up on a spoon. Slipped out of his hand and he just left it there. Ate pudding with his fingers. Flimsy soul, too. I was hoping for a backstory here. Right, all right, let's get Liv's team on here. Steve Clark, traffic warlock, smarmy prick who can, I guess, summon phantasmal apparitions of long-dead highway traffic that hurt a lot if they hit you. He was always the department's darling, but now he seems to be working with the team who just hit Rushwater PD, and I don't think the station knows it yet. It is killing me that I wasn't around to rat him out to his fan club. Bori Kesh. Zan, you're going to have to take this one because I'm honestly still not sure I understand this guy's deal. Fine, his talent creates a magical fire that never gets above a certain temperature, so it won't incinerate you, you'll just pass out from heat stroke. Given that, it's a little weird that he joined a team that's been killing people all over the globe, but there we are. Okay, Bori Kesh presumably takes orders from Liv Kennedy, and Steve Clark also takes orders from Liv Kennedy. And the mana stockpile. Stonecliff Lockup. I was hoping I'd be able to waltz into the Stonecliff Lockup before they heard what went down at Rushwater, but no such luck. We managed to get the blood sample they took off Banks when they booked her, so now I can track her with the scrying spell. We didn't have to look far, she was in the next building. Still, with the team who took her, they were there to burn an alarmingly large stockpile of confiscated mana. Why, though? Seized street mana. Unlocking your craft tends to happen when a life-threatening situation brings it out of you. If you're not willing to wait for one, why not create it yourself? 10 grams of street mana and a shot of absinthe is a simple, wildly expensive recipe for a huge risk of brain damage or death. Beryllium calcite activates the craft center of the brain, and some people unlock a temporary power while the high lasts. It's not permanent though, and when you don't know what your power is, there's a whole range of ways to die finding out. Cut it with MDMA or acid, and you've got street mana. It's a misnomer. The few who can get hold of beryllium sell it to trust fund kids at mansion pool parties or money men by private courier. Millionaires who think they're invincible, mad that there's a type of power they don't have yet. The stockpile at Stonecliff must be years of seizures. Why did they destroy it? More to the point, why did Liv? Okay, Stonecliff lockup. Oh, Ma's place. Zen's Ma was good enough to put us up while we figure out our next move, and her place is off the map. It was. Alright. And here's the black site. Reactor black site. Somewhere around here, Zan thinks this is where they're taking Banks, and the direction I feel them heading in backs it up. Hey, that all makes sense to me. No rush if you want to rearrange or go over the details, though. You're out of brandy, so I made tea. Do you really want the story? It's longish. Of course. Oh, you'll love this, Jen. Building it up isn't helpful, Ma. Okay, so this is Ryasi, 78. We're on escort duty for this RNS diplomat. And our APC driver, Valdini, she's hearing a noise she doesn't like from the chassis. We pull over, and of course, as the FNG, she sends me under there to check. And I find 3 kilos of plastic, colored wires, blinking red light, the works. I don't know if I have seconds or minutes before it blows. I don't even have wire cutters. All I can think is to rip all the wires out at once. As soon as I think it, there's this flash of pain, so sharp I think it's blown already. But it's still there. So I think just about ripping out the green wire and flash, it hits me again. When I think about ripping out the blue wire though, nothing. I just see myself doing it, clear as day. So I do it. Red light goes off, and I just fucking collapse. And that's it. That's how I unlocked. Adrenaline, delirium, and a desperate need to do exactly what it turns out I can do. So did they put you on bomb defusal after that? No, turns out most bombs blow whichever wire you cut. Once I could foresee without passing out, the brass put me through a craft training program to help control it, then fast-tracked me to Special Forces. That's where I met Liv. Who was trying to blow you up? The bomb was a Merc job, but this was Raisi in the 70s. There's no way Chapel money wasn't behind it. What did Valdini say? Her reaction focused very much on being right about the dragging noise and much less than on the discovery that I could see through time. Good story. I don't know where he gets it, Jen. Not a magical bone in my body, nor your father. Especially not your father. He'd suck the magic right out of anything. It's not hereditary, Ma. But you might have something. You've just never been in a life or death situation that required it. Well, it's certainly not shut your father up about the quickest route to downtown after 5 p.m. That came up all you like, and I thought my life was over every time. We better get some rest. First ferry to Liboli's at 7. First ferry to Liboli, 95 minutes late. So my contact got back to me. She knows a guy who delivers supplies for Reactor. He's going to let us ride in with a shipment of bathroom supplies and pornography. Always ride in style. If we do stop World War V, I hope someone gives us a lift home. Thanks hasn't moved, which fits with her being held at the black site. If she's still there, Liv's still there, my gut says they need her for something. If you're right about the stakes of this, we need to get there yesterday. I feel like we've moved about 4 inches in 2 hours. Yeah, this is torture. I'm gonna find somewhere to kip. This is the chats menu. Optional conversations can be played at any time. If you just want to move on for now, you can always play them later. Choices made in these don't affect the outcome of the campaign. What's your cat's name? Daryl? You named your cat Daryl? My mom did. She isn't really a cat person. Well, he's a treasure. What does he do? He licks his own butthole, then looks at you like you should be ashamed. He's surprisingly chill about being on a ship. If we let him out of his cage, he'd kill us both and then leap into the sea like a tortured poet. I think we could take Daryl. No offense, Daryl. Can I ask you something? Shoot. How are you so sure about all this? You're always a guy double-checking our orders, hedging our bets. Better safe than sorry. No offense, it was comforting. Untaken. But now you see an old friend causing trouble and you walk into a police station with an assault staff? Kinda forgot you were this sharp. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's not just that Liv's playing with fire. It's that I know what happens in a month's time if we do nothing. Thought you could only see 1 second ahead. On a good day, yeah, when I'm in control. But sometimes I get flashes. They're brief, they're rare, and I don't know how far ahead I'm seeing. So most of them tell me nothing useful, and the temporal whiplash lays me out for days. In one, though, I saw a date. It was etched into a massive stone slab, 18/6/92. Above a list of hundreds of names, thousands. I can't tell where I am or when I am, and they aren't names I know. But I know it's a war memorial, and I'm swallowing a feeling like a throat full of rocks. I did nothing. When did you have the flash? 3 months ago. Right after Liv Kennedy came back on the map. Zan's brain, bear with it. Hi? Hi. Oh wait, are you really here? Explain where here is, explain where here is, then ask me again? Shit, sorry, I think you're in my dream. This happens sometimes. My foresight runs wild while I'm asleep, and it can drag in other casters if they're dreaming too. Gonna need some clarity on runs wild. Well, okay. It runs combat drills. Combat's when I use it most, so that's what it knows. So we're about to fight a completely meaningless battle? Yeah, sorry. I can kill you if you'd like. That'll probably wake you up. Nah, I'm good. Could use the practice, to be honest. I don't get shot at much in typical private investigation. They're not bad for building confidence. Alright, let's breach. Right. So, Gen defenestrate 3 hostiles in 1 turn. I do wonder if there's something to this... this item here. Yeah, the angles on all of this are... the angles on this are... whack. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Whoops! Okay, that's awesome, but... Actually, you know what the funny thing is? So if I just static blast here... That was brief. Yeah, there's a bit more to him than that. Want to do another? Am I missing something here? Interesting. What should we build towards? I do like the idea of the private eye outfit, so let's wait it out. Okay, this is funny. I don't want to completely give up. Let's do one more dream training, and then maybe we'll save the story for later. So there is that side of me that says we should do play all, but let's start with Zan's Corridor and move up from there. And again, partly for myself, I want to see if I can keep on top of actually saying what my strategy is. So prevent 3 reinforcements in total. That doesn't strike me as overwhelmingly hard to do. Oh, it's double Zan. That's interesting. Okay. That does actually change things up a little bit, but let's do the breach. So I gotta knock this guy out of the window, but the catch is I don't have a... Nope, actually I've got a better idea. So run this one up, so I can 3-bolt burst this guy down, and then I can predictive bolt. So one of the options I have here is to 3-bolt burst when I move into the into the room. I was originally going to try and get the mana. However, I also need to be able to 3-bolt burst here. Alas, I did not anticipate that response. Yeah, I'm still in trouble there. So, I don't think this works. Well, yep, we're good. Okay. I'm going to move up. I want to be careful about the enforcers, but I have an idea here. So the first thing I need to do is eliminate the people who will take me out. Oh, hang on. I think I know what they mean by prevent 3 enforcements. So in this case here, the one person I'm definitely going to have to take out is RPD Tracker Andromeda. Now I'm kind of committed to standing around here, but we can easily knock out the Enforcer with the Predictive Bolt. So I think I know what they mean by prevent a reinforcement. So if I just... maybe not. Okay, I'm going to try sealing this door and see... Oh, cool. All right, that's easy then. So the last question would be... Okay, I'm definitely going to Predictive Bolt, because that'll take that guy out. At some point I should decide on the time boost. Yeah, we're going to rewind that. So I am actually going to time boost. This is largely because I can actually probably defenestrate both if I had the bullets, but you go. Amusingly, though, now I don't need to worry about being clever. Alright, so the rest of this should be straightforward. We did it. How are we for time? That was relatively brief, so let's go to the next level. Looks like a solo Zan, so knock out all enemies and reinforcements, cause a predictive bolt to fire before the foresee phase. Fascinating. So I wouldn't normally want to stay put. I'm not sure how I force movement though with the... Right, I think I understand now. So there's going to be a point where... So there's a couple things I'm thinking of. I need to get some time boosts for Zan, but it would be nice if I can just get the predictive bolt out of the way. So one option I do have would be run up like so. predictive... Nope. Damn. All right. It's really crowded here, it turns out. So if I did... Nope, because again, they're in the wrong spot. This has got to be by design. Okay, this one feels a little nutty, but... So, push them down. That gets me the point, and then I predictive bolt here to take out this unit. Now again, I've locked myself into, you know, a pretty tough fight trying to mitigate all these guys. I may be able to use some mana to get up to some shenanigans, but we'll see how it goes. Sacre bleu. Oh, but I get a third Zan. Okay. We have options here then. So the best options are ones that involve me making use of the predictive bolts. There is exactly one door I can bar. And I don't see a realistic situation where I can use the predictive bolt. So what we're going to do here, we're going to bolt burst the Grenadier. I'm going to seal the door. And then we're going to smack this guy before they emerge. So we're going to get pummeled by these officers. If I want the mana, I need to grab it here. Alternatively, I can be willing to take the grenade damage, which does have a mild temptation. You know, here's a funny thing. If I did a... If it's a set of predictive bolts like this, I actually think we take out everybody who wants to hurt me. The only catch is that we've got like a nightmare waiting for us in the next turn, but I think I'm actually going to go for predictive bolts here. Although what benefit do I have by predictive bolting? I feel like there's something more interesting I can do. At the very least, I should, like, bolt. Yeah, I mean, that... I don't know if that really did anything worthwhile, but... It successfully annoyed them. Okay, so... As is usual, we need to move... So I think at this point we kind of just need to accept the risk that's going to be coming in the form of all these troops. Before I do that... So that takes out this unit. I wish I could have done otherwise. I can probably get the timer for... or the mana for the next round. I am curious how we're going to handle the 4 enforcers with 3 guys. I think I may be setting myself up for a tough situation. Good lord. Yeah, so obviously they want to hurt me. But I think we can get a pretty reasonable crossfire going. The other possibility is we try and brute force people to the... you know what? We got some clever things we can try here. So if I... Alright. No line of sight, sadly. Okay, well let's deal with the reality of the grenades first. Now, one option I have here is to just try and knock people down the good old-fashioned way. Alas, predictive bolt doesn't work here. But I could probably time boost my way out of this. Oh, that's no good. Okay, so this Zan's in a tough spot. Now, in fairness, I can sacrifice one of these Zans and still pass the level, but I don't know. Leave no man behind, all of that. So, let's keep the focus... Alright, so if I go here, and I grab the intel, so we know where this enforcer's going. Now, it seems to me the easy answer here is just to 3-bolt burst again. You're joking. All right. I guess technically I can still... Fascinating. So I guess my next best, I can time boost someone else. Alright, at least I can knock this guy out the window. So what I want to do here now is focus on the time boosts that I can distribute. I'm actually not crazy about how I've positioned everybody. So let's if we toss you a time boost, can you actually do the thing? You can! Alright. Works for me. So we predictive bolt this. This is really just because I can. I don't actually see any application in these ones, but we know we'll take this guy out. Now we only have 2 more figures to worry about. We'll be able to dodge the grenade. Okay, so this one's a little tricky because I can't actually force the movement, but what I think I can do is if I grab the intel here, I can No! Okay, I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way. Oh man, that is a hard shot to get. Alright, well, one shot here. Right. I gotta save the predictive shots for the very end. Okay. So just old-fashioned way of taking out the Grenadier. This guy's going to run into the predictive bolt, so we're good there. And then we avoid consequence by dodging the grenade. Alright. Bit of a weird way of handling it, but we got it. How are we for time? That's the 3-hour mark, so I think I will say 2 is good there. I'm feeling a bit better about the confidence challenges. So, yes, that was Tactical Breach Wizards. Did you all like it? I'm really glad that I finally got around to this. I will definitely be doing more of this. I get the impression, like, it's nice. It's quite... I really feel like the levels are just the right size. Like, they don't overstay their welcome. I had a couple where it's just like, yeah, you know what? Dealing with the pile of enemies is a good way of working through this. And I feel the... like it's almost a little bit like popcorn or like potato chips. Like, you know, you just kind of, okay, just one more, just one more, just one more. So my intention here is to make this one of the more regular games. I do want to kind of come back to Uncle Chomp's Rocket Shop, but I feel like this is a good way to spend some of the regular streams. And if we get through it quickly, that's fine. I mean, we can maybe do some more Uncle Chomps, but I am actually hoping to do a little bit more strategy moving forward. So definitely let me know what you think of this one. Also never really followed up with anybody on the game to voice volume, but I'm going to guess that it worked out for everyone. If the game's too quiet, too loud, just let me know for future. But I am actually wrapping up later than I had planned, so I'm going to wish you all a very good night, and thank you for watching. And I guess I still need to filibuster a little bit because I didn't look and see who was streaming. So let's see who is online. Kizrati is playing Rogue, and Kilgore Trout is playing Terminator Rampage. You know what? I normally host... this is a tricky one. I actually don't know Kizrati. Kizrati is the developer behind... Oh, what is it called? It's a roguelike that's sort of like a mech... Damn it. Okay. You know what? I'm going to host Kilgore. But I am going to... Wish I remembered who... I did want to... At some point I want to host Kizrati again because I think in July there's the roguelike dev does the roguelike tutorial event again. But Kilgore Trout's good. A fellow Canadian, has a large collection of movies. He will usually show off some boxes of classic games as well as some of the movies usually related to any recent news. And just a nice guy. He actually tends to stream quite late as well, so I feel like that is a good choice for a lot of you. Revive Snow, did you just come in? Tactical Breach Wizards is great. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out. But yeah, failing that, definitely stop by next time. It's got a great sense of humor. Anyways, have a great night, everybody. We will see you Wednesday, and then yeah, I don't know. Tactical Breach Wizards for the foreseeable, and we'll work out the rest as time goes by. Enjoy Kilgore.